Hello, my name is Emily Jackson, and we are broadcasting live from a hospital full of recovering Army men who just came out of the jungles of Vietnam. These men have seen many horrors and are now recovering from either physical injury, mental injury, or both. Today we are going to be speaking to one of these fine men. Sir, what is your name and occupation?
I'm Rat Kiley, and I'm a medic for the Alpha Company of the U.S. Army.
Oh, so you're a medic. How did you get involved in the war?
I saw all those war heroes who came back from Korea when I was a kid, and I decided that I wanted to be like them. I wanted to help the world and make it a better place. If I couldn't do that all on my own, I at least wanted to help out all the other soldiers fighting on the front. That's really why I became a medic. If I couldn't save the world, I wanted to save the lives of the people fighting for my same beliefs.
Going from life in the United States to life in Vietnam must have been tough. Did you carry anything from home along with you to make things easier?
I carried a few things from home. I carried comic books and M&Ms for especially bad wounds. I also carried brandy.
Huh. What would you say is the hardest part about the war in general, or personally as a medic?
Well, in general, the hardest part of the war is the goddamn bugs and other creatures. They are everywhere and they eat at your soul. Sometimes, at night, I would be sleeping out there in the dark, and then I would see these disgusting bugs chewing tunnels through me. I could see mongooses chewing through my bones. I can't sleep because of them. Personally, the hardest part about being a medic is how I view other people now. I can't even picture my company as alive anymore. All I see is dismembered body parts, like bodies without arms or legs. When I look at someone, all I see is a guy's body parts. And the worst part of it is that it doesn't give me the willies. I can't see anybody anymore as a friend. All I see is death.
Wow, that sounds awful. How do you cope with more difficult times like that?
There are many things I do to cope. One thing I did was write letters to people back home. When a friend of mine got killed, I wrote a letter to his sister saying what a great brother she had, and I told a few stories to make the point. I almost bawled writing it. It helped me cope with his death and let my feelings out. I also coped with the long walks through the minefields and the heavy burdens I had to carry by making up a rhyme that caught on with the other men in the company. It made it easier to keep my mind off the fact that any wrong move would lead to my death. The rest of the Alpha Company and I told stories about the dead. It helped us keep them alive in our minds and cope with their deaths. One I really like to tell was a story about one of the men that died, Kurt Lemon, going through a village trick-or-treating on Halloween. I like to spice it up with extra details. I try to make it so that you never know that Kurt Lemon was dead. Instead of grieving about their deaths, it made it easier for us to laugh about them together and remember the good times.
I agree that the best way to keep someone alive is through the good stories about them. Speaking of stories, are there any weird stories that you have about your time in Vietnam?
There are a lot of weird stories. Fighting in a war is a weird experience. The weirdest story that I have is from when I was first stationed in the mountains west of Chu Lai. Some of the men in the medical detachment wondered if they could bring a girl to Vietnam. So one guy shipped his girlfriend to this detachment, and she showed up one day wearing these fancy white pants and a pink sweater. When I told the people in the Alpha Company that they thought I was exaggerating and overstating. But I wasn't really telling the complete truth this time. So this girl who was just as young as we were, she came and she was so naive and so pure. She didn't really understand what was going on. After spending a few weeks with us though, she went completely crazy. She even started going out on raids with the Green Berets, and you'd have to be crazy to be associated with them. The weirdest thing was one night, she didn't come back to the bunkhouse, and we were all really worried. Turns out, she was just with the Green Berets in their little bunker. She was just standing there laughing, with a necklace of human tongues around her neck. I don't know what happened to her in the end, as I left the station not long after that. She's probably still crazy, if not dead.
Oh my. What do you think is the point of this war, and what do you hope will come out of it?
You know, I'm going to tell it to you straight. There really isn't any point to this dumb war. It's as simple as that. I just hope that we come out alive in the end and that justice is served. Most of the time when we were out fighting, we weren't doing anything. We just sat around waiting for people to die. Whether it's from grenades blowing them to pieces, gunshot wounds to the head, or even those goddamn bugs eating at your eyeballs. When we weren't sitting, we were just marching to wherever they told us to go. The war just needs to be over. It is wrecking everyone's sanity. If anything is to come out of this war, I hope it's that people realize the hell that soldiers are put through. People back home think that this is just a fun game for us, and they are dead wrong. Nobody can understand until they are physically out there fighting for their life.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Thank you, Mr. Kiley, for agreeing to share your story with us today. I hope your foot wound heals quickly. This is Emily Jackson, signing off.